You said Wyatt was going to play the outfield today.
Yeah, he just had another day, so he's good to go in the outfield. He'll play left field today. Tomorrow he'll stay back, get some ABs in the squad game, get some more innings. We got to get from the pitchers down here at this complex. So, but he'll probably get 2 at bats, maybe 3, 4 or 5 innings.
Okay.
Same plan for Jacob going today too.
Yeah, 1 to 2 innings. Max probably 30, 35 pitches in there. So, see how it goes the first inning. Go from there. Could be 1. Could go back out. Could go out for a hitter. So, but I know he's excited about getting out there, as we are, to see him out there.
What's the difference in the Jacob that you've seen to this point, this spring, as compared to the first spring? Is there?
I don't know if there is a difference. He's throwing that well now, and he was throwing really well then. So, Evan, I can't tell you there's any difference. I've been asked that, how he's doing and, where he's at. And you've seen his bullpens. He's throwing the ball like he did when he came here the first year, and with his great command. So, there's really nothing any different.
What about the guy, though? He seems, I guess in 23 he was getting to know everybody, getting to know us. He seems pretty loose.
Yeah, sure. And like all of us, you get more comfortable the longer you're in, one place. And so I'm sure that's the case, especially with you guys, You got to build that trust. No, but all kidding aside, I think he's in a good place. I think a big reason is the fact he's healthy. He's had the surgery. Everything feels really good, and that puts you in a good frame of mind. If you get little things going on, and I don't know that he did in that spring in 23, but as the season went, things were creeping up. He could feel it there. So, I think he's excited about where he's at with the arm.
I know I'm overthinking this, but to me, and I've thought this for a while, that in 23, there was that element, like Jeff said, of getting to know everybody, and he's more comfortable now. That seems to be very evident. But I also thought, he came in, the back was stiff. You guys are still getting to know him. And maybe there was some lingering things about, is something wrong there? And that's the only thing I was wondering, does it seem to you like he's just in a better headspace all around?
Looking back at 23, his first time out was really impressive. So there was nothing that indicated that something was bothering him. Like I said, that came as he started pitching during the year. He could feel that, the elbow a little bit and in the forearm area. You're not, hearing that from him now. So, that's why I'm saying I don't notice any difference in the spring. But I have noticed a difference in just, his, I guess, to hop to his step. He's smiling more. He just seems like he's in a much better place. And like I said, I think that's because, it's been fixed, and he feels great.
On a different Jacob, I guess Jake technically, what are your impressions about Jake Berger as the person, but also as a player?
Oh man, this guy, it's just been a pleasure, from day one. Just getting a chance to spend some time with him in Nashville, with him living in the same, in my neighborhood. He's my neighbor, and really just loves the game, real passion for the game, a learner. Just he's out here every day to get better. You see, the ground balls he takes. He wants to be a really good first baseman. The hitting, so the talent is there, but it's the person that you really get to appreciate, especially what he's gone through. and that's a lot on his plate, but he's able to handle it all and just do very well with it, and teammates love him, and that's, as we talked about with Jake, it's never an easy transition. I don't think your first time in a new clubhouse, but with him and with Jake too, I think it was a really easy transition for him.
Any more left-handers, is there?
Well, there's room. Talking to Latz, and he threw the ball very well yesterday. He got a little behind. He missed some time early. We would like to get him some more work and more consistent work, some innings. We talked about being an option, being a 2-3 inning type guy, a lone guy even, or maybe a high leverage guy. With just probably being behind a little bit where we're at with the bullpen. We just thought it's best now to go ahead and make this move and let him get that consistent work, as we don't have it here. Now we can't bring him back over if we need some work, but you don't rule out anything. You don't know what's going to happen from this point on, with the guys, and so he's obviously a very viable option with what he did last year and how he threw the ball yesterday. We just, want to get him on that consistent role that he needs to be on.
In Pennington?
Same with Walter. Yeah, same. I'll put him in the same boat, and those guys are guys that will help us, I think, at some point this year, and it's always performance-based, who's doing well down there, but both of them are guys that we think a lot of, and just don't have a spot right now for them.
How close do you feel, or in your head, do you feel like you are to knowing what you want the bullpen to look like? I know it's still a few weeks away, but do you feel like you're getting closer?
Yeah. But there's some guys making it tough, so making it even a harder decision when you're looking at the right and left side, length, things like that. But yeah, I think we're getting it narrowed down. Not completely though.
What do you look for at this point for those roles at the back end of the bullpen? What do they have to do to earn a spot at this point?
As much as anything, guys that pound the strike zone with good stuff, but also we do need a guy or two down there to give us length. So we have those options. Some guys that are going out there throwing 2 innings right now, and we have 4 or 5 of those guys that can help us there, especially early in the season. Your starters aren't going as long, so we want to make sure we have coverage there. But even on the high leverage situations, who's going to be in what role, and you'll see stuff start to tick up on some of these guys the next couple of weeks. I think their command gets sharper. Especially the veterans. I think it's only going to get better with them. But, you're always looking for the strike throwers that pound the zone.
So, Latz, Pennington, and Alstrom, you feel pretty good about that trio of lefties?
We do. Robbie did a great job of opening eyes here in camp. His stuff, his attitude, he's a competitor, and you can see it out there how he gets after it and attacks the hitters. He's hit 94, he has a good breaking ball, and he's come up with a changeup, so that's going to make him even more effective, especially in those pockets with right-handers. But he's got that great attitude you love from a pitcher. Is I'm getting you out, and that's the look he brings out there.
But you guys came to spring with some projects on the offensive side. On the fastballs, I know what you see in spring isn't necessarily what you see during the regular season, but what do you feel like you've seen?
I think it's gotten better and better. Early in the spring, guys were trying to catch up, and I think we might have been a little late in our setups, or getting it down, so to speak, to foot down and all that. But I see him getting on time now, with the heater. And so that's just gotten better and better. I think it's through hard work by our hitting guys, the work they're putting in, and so no, very encouraged how it's picked up, and that's really what you want to see. As you get toward the end, guys start to, get that timing down, and we still have 2 or 3 guys. You know that will be there when we need them. Not quite there yet.
Guys who have track records against fastballs, and
Yeah,
you're not that worried.
You're
about
looking
that.
at Corey Seager, for example. He's a pro and he's getting ready for the season, and so. But some other guys have been really encouraged how they've been swinging it.
What have you seen from your from the left-handed hitting center fielder and switch hitting center fielder?
Well, I'll start with Leo. I think he's had a great spring. It's evident he put in a lot of work this winter and in this spring, and man, he's throwing out some nice at bats from both sides. So good for him. Defensively, he's been fine. I've moved him to right, to left. He's handled that. That's it. I think he'll tell you he's more comfortable in right than left, but that's just because he hasn't been in left. But the bats, getting back to that, he's doing what we were hoping to do, show him better discipline, making harder contact. He's driving the ball from both sides. With Carter, he's still trying to find it. We're looking for him to get his timing down. And this, as you know, this game is performance-based, and so that's what it will come down to. But this kid's he's gonna do a lot of great things. Right now, he's just trying to get that timing down. He's missed a lot of time. I'm not surprised about it. I thought there would be some rust here in camp. I really did, and 21, 22 years old, those guys, you miss a year of facing major league pitching and think you're going to find it right away. This game's not that easy, so this is not a surprise. And as we're halfway through camp, but he's going to get his at bats. We got the minor league games going on. We can throw him down there and just ramp it up a little bit for him.
If you can't, how comfortable do you feel? I know there's 2 weeks left. How comfortable do you feel about him getting at bats against left-handers?
In what way? How comfortable am I putting him in there, or how do I see him against left-handers?
Well, I mean, how comfortable are you putting him in there against left-handers at this point?
Right now, no getting around it. He's still fighting it a little bit. Being comfortable in there against lefties. Again, it's lack of seeing left-handers. His young career, not just this spring, but he's seen some left-handers, and he did have a nice hit the other day. I think he was excited about that, but he needs more at bats there. And if you're going to for example, if you're going to play him and the right-hander comes out and you're in the middle of the game, he's going to have to see lefties. So it will help determine what we end up doing during the course of a game on his at-bats against lefties.
Did you like what you saw from Rocker with his adjustments yesterday?
I did. I thought there was a lot of improvement. I thought his breaking ball was better. I think he feels better about how he threw, better command of the fastball. So threw some nice change-ups. Threw one to Peterson there that was really a nice one. That's got to be in his arsenal. Sometimes we go a lot with our strength, and when you're starting, to have that third and fourth pitch is really important. So I think he was more comfortable out there his third time out, which that's what you expect to see. He just continues to get better, but the command overall was a lot better. So
this is like, it just dawns on me, like this is this is the ultimate spring training thing. That two guys can have offers against left-handed pitchers. But one of them, I mean, you're talking almost glowingly about Leo, and you're talking, like Evan is still really struggling, right? And they're both over against lefties, but there's a difference in how their approach and
How the bats are, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about hard contact, the discipline, the chase. Oh, yeah, that comes into play. I don't just look at results, whether it's defensively or what they're doing at the plate or pitching. It's just execution. And Leo, we saw him chase a lot last year, and he's laying off those pitches down, those off-speed pitches out of the zone. And so that's always a great sign. That's telling you he's seeing the ball well. And then, of course, the better contact that he's making.
You seen anything from Evan that suggests tentativeness in the swing?
I think at times, I think that comes, from maybe a lack of confidence from not seeing all left-handers. So that's natural. Yeah, you're going to be a little tentative and just don't see the ball as well.
But not lack of confidence in that he might do something in the back. You're not seeing anything.
No, I'm not seeing that at all. No, I don't think that's playing a role at all.
And the last thing on the offense, Garcia will take some swings off of pitching today.
Right.
Like not soft toss, he'll actually hit off a machine or.
I think machine and take some BP.
Okay. And when before he got hurt, what were you seeing with his swing?
Well, you could see he made some adjustments, and the adjustments were made to, cut back on his chase, especially up, but also, the off-speed pitches down. So it was a shorter swing, trying to be quicker to the ball, and so you don't want to get away from your strengths either. And we've talked to Dolly about this, and we still want him to, to drive the ball, bring some slug in. That's his game, and that's what makes him good. So, but he is going to tweak a little bit, and I think you'll see him get after it a little bit more when he comes back and get back to driving the ball the way he can. I think it's going to help him in the fact that this adjustment he made shows that he has the ability to put the ball in play, cut down on strikeouts. So, it's almost like a two-strike approach on what he's doing. But we don't want that, with less than two strikes. Or if you face a certain pitcher you don't see as well, you need to shorten up a little bit. And so you have to have that ability to adjust as a hitter, and he's showing that. So I think this will benefit him. Is this a hitter we want him to be? No, I think he'll tell you that, but I think you'll,
But that's like you make a tweak, right? And then you've got to refine that a little
Right,
bit.
right.
So what do you like about Hunter Strickland? Now he started with you in San Fran.
Yeah, Hunter had a nice year last year. He, gives us depth, experience. He's pitched, late in the ball game. He's pitching middle relief. He's a pro. He's a little different pitcher than when I had him. He's more of a pitcher now, probably versus being a power guy. But it's good to have him in camp. He's a good teammate. Takes the ball, and so we'll get him going here, and he'll go AAA, and we'll get him ready.
Wait, how would you characterize the bullpen situation, competition, everything at this point in camp? I know, Carvello and Toyota went down today. Obviously, you brought Strickland in, and you have a lot of guys in this rebuilt bullpen.
Yeah, well, again, with Strickland, he's behind quite a bit. So it'll take him a little while to get ready, but it's going to be good to have him here. He'll start some action in the minor leagues and get him built up. But we do not have the roles defined, as I've said. We have some spots open down there. It's going to be really competitive. I know we're getting a little closer to the season, so and we do have some tough calls. But we'll keep throwing them out there, and hopefully we see that progression, grow with these guys with their, improvement across the board as far as location, velocity, all those things, and then eventually, we'll make a call here the last few days. That's what it's probably going to come down to, on a couple of calls. And it's really going to be our needs that determine those calls too. Is it a short inning guy? Is it a depth guy as far as having versatility, length? You saw what happened with a couple of starters yesterday. That we have to have coverage there. So all these variables will come into play.
Teodo got reassigned, but he, one of the guys who opened some eyes during his time here in this camp, right?
Man, did he ever. You're right. It's pretty impressive, wasn't it? And we told him that, he's going down there to get consistent work. Don't rule anything out. Something could happen from this point on. Just because you're sent down. We don't want these guys going down there and shutting it down, going, okay, I'm not on the team. No, that's not the case in some cases because, things do happen. And so he was told that, and we want him going down and keeping that same focus and that same intensity when he's playing in the minor league games and keep it rolling there. And that's with all those guys that were sent down today.
Do you have, CY said obviously Cody shut down for a couple of days. What's your level of concern at this point?
Actually, I thought it was really good news. Last night, my level of concern was pretty high. But I think we got the best of any news that we could have gotten on both of them. Mally's going to throw tomorrow, and looking at Bradford, we're going to shut them down for a few days here, and then get them going again, and kind of see where we're at. And can't tell you when he will be back, but you can look at it this way: as many days as he takes off from throwing, it's going to take him that many days to get ready. So. That's kind of a base for you. So if he's, 10 days before he throws, then it's another 10 days.
Mally is going to pitch tomorrow, let's see why I said.
Yeah, he will piggyback, I know he talked about DeGrom. We're looking at the weather here, so, he could throw here. We'll make that call here soon. If he does, then Mally can piggyback him.
Kind of marvel at how Chavez and Martin specifically are still effective so long into their careers, and it's been a long time since they started, and here they are still performing.
Yeah, it is amazing, impressive, and their stuff's still pretty good. Really good. I was talking to Shabby today, and we were talking about injuries, arm injuries and stuff, and but anyway. He's a good one to talk to about those things, with as long as he's been around and weighted balls and all that. I know I'm getting off the subject a little bit with your question, but I just love picking his brain because of his experience and his longevity. And there's a reason why, and, by just talking to him on what's worked for him. And he talked about that a little bit, and but he's still going out there. Does he have the same stuff from 10 years ago? No, but it's not far behind, and still has that pitchability you like, and Chris, he's just a horse. He's still doing it, still attacking the zone with really good stuff.
You see a coach in the future with Chavi, and is he kind of...
I do. He hangs in the bullpen on the days he's not throwing. He watches everything. He's the first one here every day. He goes through his workout, and you see him with this, I don't know what those things are he puts on his legs for recovery, but he has his routine, and he stays with it. And again, you see why he's pitched, for so long, and because he takes care of himself.
With, Mally and Bradford, obviously too early, or Bradford specifically, too early to talk about timelines and when he could be back and all that. But between Leiter and Rocker and Dunning, do you feel good about the starter depth, that if one of these guys has to miss some time, that you have the coverage behind them?
Yeah, I think you have to, especially when you're looking at those two young arms. And you'll get to see Rocker here, on Friday. He will go 4 innings. And I just think when you have two big arms like this as depth, that's rare. That's a rare deal there. And, Blighter, who's been doing a great job from the bullpen, he lost his command a little bit yesterday, but overall it was pretty good. I mean, he made pitches when he had to. Was it as clean as before? No, but hey, you're going to have that occasionally. So no, those are two nice pieces. Dunning's done it. So anyway, and we're looking at some other guys to get them stretched out too, to give us that option.
Who else are you looking to stretch out?
Well, a guy like who's throwing well here, Murphy, for example. I'm just throwing a name out there. He, slated for maybe 3 innings coming up here. So, those guys, when you do have to replace a starter, you may not have that 6 or 7 inning guy, but if you got a guy that can give you 3 or 4, and have another guy that can give you 2 or 3, then that works.
What do you like about Murphy?
4-pitch guy, good stuff, good command, both sides. Pitches up. He likes the top rail a lot, but now he's working on. He has a really good angle on the ball down. He's got a good curveball, slider, and a changeup, and he's a pitcher. And we looked. I think we threw about 150 innings. I want to say in 2018 or something. So he's a guy that has started.
Always trying to sort out back end the bullpen stuff. Is spring training kind of a difficult place to realistically do that, or is it something that has to almost sort out in the regular season?
Yeah, it is. Spring training, the guys are getting in shape, and where they're at now and where they're going to be when you get into the season. It can be, and I think we saw in 23. We were trying to get it sorted out. It was a battle, and Leclerc was going through his deal with his neck, and started out as a closer. We had to make adjustment there, and then Smitty, and then make another adjustment. And so I envision us doing that this year. Hey, it's adjusting on the fly, getting the pockets you want for certain pitchers, and I think we'll have some different looks down there to where we can do that from the left side and the right side. I think Jackson was a huge sign for us. He's got some experience at the back end too, and can be just as tough on both sides. So that's nice.
We haven't seen a lineup yet. CY mentioned Adolis might be playing today.
Dolly's DHing. Yeah, lineup should be up now, but I did make one adjustment. Marcus, he's got a little stomach virus going on, so Smitty will lead off, but he's playing left field. And Corey's out; he's in there. Peterson, and then you got Josh Young playing third. Dolly's DHing. Carter being center field, hitting sixth, and Leo's out there in right field, and Jonah's catching.